Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks for tuning in. This is Brenton with Vortex Detailing, mobile auto detailing business based in Oregon City, Oregon. You're not going to want to miss this one as we go over the quickest, most efficient way to wash your vehicle. We're only going to be using two products to do this. We're going to be using 2 gallons of water, no hose, just a rinseless wash, which is absolutely necessary for this wash process, a sponge, and a microfiber towel. Any rinseless wash will do. They all have a really great dilution ratio. This one's 256:1, which is 1 ounce of product per 2 gallons of water. Here you see I have a pump sprayer. If you have a handheld pump sprayer, that's more than fine. You can take that handheld pump sprayer, you can dunk it into your rinseless solution, fill it up, and do the same exact thing. If you really want to substantially decrease the time that it takes to do this, use a hose or a pressure washer with a foam cannon. Not only can you use that hose or pressure washer to knock down that heavier dirt before you go ahead and start the process, but you can take that foam cannon with your rinseless solution in it and get the product on the surface much quicker than you can by using a pump sprayer. I'm going to be doing this in real time so you can really get a feel for how quickly this happens and how much quicker even it would be if you did use a foam cannon on a hose or a pressure washer. The process is pretty straightforward, so there shouldn't be a whole lot of talking in this video. I'm just going to explain it a little bit here. As you can see, I am simply covering the surface with the rinseless wash to emulsify and break down that dirt before I wipe it away. The second product that I'm going to be using is what's we refer to as a drying aid. In this case, it's actually a ceramic sealant that can be used as a drying aid. So it's what's called a ceramic topper spray, and this one is also by DIY Detail. It's their ceramic gloss. It's a great product, and it works excellent for drying the car, or just as a standalone sealant. At the same time you're drying, you're leaving behind a nice layer of protection to add on to what you already have on your paint, or if you don't have anything on there at all, it will leave behind a little bit of protection, giving you a nice hydrophobic, self-cleaning ability to make your life much easier the next time you go to clean your car. Do you have to use a drying aid? Absolutely not. You can go ahead and just use the rinseless wash, dry it, and be done, but you would be doing yourself a disservice. Now, they do make designated drying aids, but you can really use any spray wax or spray sealant, and they'll pretty much all work just the same. Of course, some of them are going to be better and longer lasting than others. One of my favorite go-to products that I've been using for years now is a product called Technician's Choice. It's a ceramic detail spray, and it can be used on any surface you can think of, whether it's inside or outside of the vehicle. It leaves behind an incredibly slick finish, and it's super cheap. Now, you notice at the beginning of the video, I had my 1 bucket, 2 gallons of water. And what did I not have in that bucket? Well, a grit guard. And if you don't know what a grit guard is, good. You don't need to know. It's one of the biggest gimmicks in the detailing industry. It's totally unnecessary. It's a waste of money. It's especially a waste of money when you're using a rinseless wash. Rinseless washes they're designed to encapsulate and pull that dirt away from whatever wash mitt or sponge you're using, preferably a sponge. The sponge floats really nice. It takes that dirt right out of there and it takes it right to the bottom of the bucket. There's never any chance of cross-contamination. Now, if you're using a regular traditional wash method with a wash mitt, it's still unnecessary. The best thing that you can do to avoid cross-contamination and to avoid a swirl finish is to go ahead and use multiple wash mitts. Now, that's going to vary depending on the size of the vehicle. Sometimes it's only 2, sometimes it's up to 5. So it depends on the size of the vehicle. Either way, grit guards are a waste of time. They're a waste of money. Go ahead and use multiple wash mitts. Once one wash mitt's loaded up, discard it either into a separate bucket or just simply droop it over the bucket that you're using, and you're never going to have to worry about cross-contamination. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you my wash bucket and how the grit and all the dirt has literally been pulled directly to the bottom. And you'll see my sponge as well and how clean that sponge is afterwards. So just bear with me here. I promise you, I'm telling you the truth, grit guards are a total gimmick. One final thing I might mention here is that when you are washing a vehicle, no matter what method you're using, make sure you just go in straight back and forth motions. If you go in a circular pattern, there's a chance that you create swirls. And when you go in a straight back and forth motion, even though there might be some grit or contamination between that mitt and that surface, if you do risk scratching the surface at all or micro-marring the surface, it's going to be a straight line instead of a swirl, making it much less visible. Once I start washing here in just a moment, you'll notice how I use my microfiber towel. I use my microfiber towel for more intricate, detailed areas like behind the door handles, around the window trim, the cowl on the front, the grill, and anywhere that the sponge just might have a harder time getting to, I like to use it on the lower rocker panels where it's really dirty. That way I'm not kind of degrading my sponge over time, and the microfiber towel just kind of being able to fold it into force picks that stuff up a little bit easier with a little bit more cushion, and just makes life a little bit easier there on the lower, dirtier panels and sections of the vehicle. I do end up using multiple microfiber towels. I'll use one to clean the wheels, I'll use one to clean the fender wells and everything like that. So I'll just wipe everything down really good, and then I'll dry it, and you're going to see that process right now. I should mention one more thing about using a pump sprayer, or any sprayer for that matter, other than a hose and a foam cannon, is that one of the really nice things about that method, even though it takes a little bit longer, you don't have run marks at the end of the day. You know, it's always annoying when you just wash your vehicle and then the water gets loaded up around your mirrors and everything else, and it just drips and drips and drips for hours, and then next thing you know, you have water streaks that are running down the side of your vehicle, and once that dries, of course, that creates a nice long water etching into your paint. So one sweet thing about the pump sprayer is that you do not have that happen. All right, guys, with all that, go ahead and listen to some tunes, watch the process. No pressure ever. Oh, see, no pressure, so much so that the sponge just came flying out of my hand there for a second. So that's one thing to remember. You don't need any pressure for this. If your vehicle's super, super dirty, this wash method is not for you. Go ahead and do a traditional wash method. This is for people who really want to maintain and keep their vehicles clean. And one last thing I should mention is that you notice I sprayed down the whole half of the car, plus the roof and the whole front windshield and the hood all at once. I'm in direct sunlight. I'm not worried about if the product dries or not. The emulsifiers and the product, they don't allow for water spots. So even if that product does dry on there, just re-rinse it and wipe it away. So now you'll see that I've grabbed a separate brand new fresh towel to dry this section that I've already cleaned. I'm doing one spray of product to the towel and one or two to whatever section I want to dry, and that's it. Once I feel that that towel is oversaturated with water and no longer doing what it's supposed to do, which is drying the vehicle, or I feel like it's got a little bit too much grit loaded up into it, I'll just go ahead and grab a fresh towel and repeat the process. You'll notice here that after I wash the wheels and the fender wells there with that towel, I'm just going to go ahead and throw that towel right on the ground because that towel's tapped out, it's done. I'm never going to use it again. It's going straight in the garbage can. Once it gets loaded up like that with that much grit, there's really no cleaning it. Then of course I'm going to dry the wheels the exact same way. 1 or 2 sprays to the wheel with my ceramic gloss, 1 spray to the towel, dry them, done. Now, since this is already a 20-minute video, I'm not going to show you washing the rear half of the car or the grill, but that doesn't take too long. It's not going to add much more time. Check this out. Look at my bucket and my sponge. Look how clean that sponge was. After this, I'm going to show you the results of the vehicle, so stay tuned for that. But look at this. Look at all the grit here at the bottom of the bucket. It all just got pulled straight down, and there it is. I mean, look at that. And now here's the final results. Now, is this a detail by any stretch of the imagination? No, absolutely not. This is not a detail. This is just a quick, simple maintenance wash to keep your vehicle clean. And it's always going to look clean, assuming you do this once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's just always going to be clean. It's always going to be easy to wash. The results are phenomenal. It looks great. It's slick to the touch. And this car is ceramic coated. So of course, if you have a ceramic coated or your vehicle's waxed, this process will be much easier, but it does not have to be. You can do this with anything, and assuming you maintain it well, just using the drying aid is going to be plenty of protection. And with all that, you guys, thank you so much for watching. The car is already getting super dusty, but if you learn anything from this video, please consider liking, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let me know down below what you think about this wash method, if you have a better one, a more efficient one, and I would look forward to reading those and hearing your input on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. God bless.